Praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostle elders which rule Great Millstone Wow. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom ba. So this video here is going to show, as it says, a warning. There's some graphic image. It says, watch your surroundings at all times. Woman gets choked out and raped while walking home from work in the Bronx. I'm going to play the video. Don't show nothing of her getting, the RAPED. But this is what we've been prophesying about. That the women that are real loose in America, they're going to get judged, all right? And the Lord's going to have a brutal judgment play out for the women. And I'm talking especially about you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian women, which are the so-called, you're supposed to be the biblical Hebrew Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian. All right, but because the majority of these Jake women are wicked, and they have many bodies, and they've done many abominations in those bodies, the Lord has a great judgment coming, and it's already playing out as we prophesied. So I'm going to play this video.
They go, what?
Boom. As you can see, he put a belt right around her neck without her even knowing. Right? And he's just pulling her. And she can't do nothing. She can't even fight the belt off her neck. See her standing, don't even realize what's about to happen. Probably got her headphones in. Probably got her head full of nonsense. Dude comes around with the belt like a lasso. Boom, it's over. Got it on her mouth, pulled it down, adjusted it to her neck. And look at her. She can't even fight. He's just dragging her, and she's choking out while he's dragging her. Right?
He don't got no hand.
Look, she passed out right there. She's out. She can't even fight. She can't even call for help. She can't do nothing, but as it says, just lay down and get raped. All right. And this is the judgment that is coming to the women of America, and especially to the Jake women, like I said, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian women that have been living so loosely. All right, it says in 2 Ezra 16 and verse 33, it says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Which I guarantee you that dude that snatched them up are one of those UN soldiers that they brought in. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Another one, you got Zechariah 14, and I believe it's about 2. It says, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, which that's why you have all these UN troops coming in. It says, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. That word ravished is the same word right here that you have. It says, woman gets choked out and raped while walking home from work. Right? And this tells you that women are going to be getting ravished. That word ravished, it could be replaced with grape. It says, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Talking about Jacob's trouble. Isaiah 13. Excuse me. It says, verse 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their sons, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Alright, which if this dude's brave enough to do this in a street between two cars, right? How much more braver would he get if he was inside a house? Right? If he had a bunch of friends and they ran into your house and they tied you up, you don't think they're gonna rape your wife, eat your food, drink your whatever you got, your wine or whatever, enjoy your stuff, and then enjoy your wife? All right, this is the judgment the Lord is sending on these women. All right, because they have lived so wickedly. Now, I just want to make a point that Israelites been scattered throughout the whole world amongst all nations, and so they look like all nations. So not every Israelite woman is going to look like a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American Indian woman, but that's pretty much the foundation of who the Israelites are. All right, but they've been scattered throughout the whole world, and so you have Israelites amongst all nations on every continent speaking all the different languages. All right, but the great judgment is here in America. It says in Isaiah 32 and 9, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Right? You think it's going to continue where you're able to go to work and have your own place and have your own car. And you don't need a man. Or if you have a man, that it's just going to, be a fairy tale. You're just going to live happily ever after. It ain't going to work that way. There's going to be a war in America, and a war that the whole world is involved in what you know as the Middle East. And a lot of men and women are going to be drafted and took and put over there to die in the so-called Middle East. But also here in America, a lot of people are going to die in war, right? Race wars, civil wars, revolutionary wars, sex wars, all these different forms of war. But eventually, after they make that implantable microchip, which they're going to make it mandatory worldwide for buying and selling, that America is literally going to be nuked off the face of the earth. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Which this is a careless daughter right here. She's just walking. She don't even know what's going on. Right? She's careless as hell. Look at her. Boom. And that's what happens. When you don't have a man, right, to protect you, you don't need a man. You make your own money, right? She's a so-called independent woman walking home from work, and look what it got her. And this is the future for most women in America. All right, they're going to be pulled to the side behind a building or just like this in the street between two cars, and they're going to have their way with them. All right, and some are going to be used to bait other men. Some are going to be used for food. All right, and we've been prophesying this for a long time, even all the way back to the apostle elders and their elders, right? That there was a great judgment coming to America, and here it is. In 2024, the year that we hope for Jacob's trouble, and it's playing out every day, every day, every day. So as it says, don't tarry. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. It's talking about you Israelite women, right? That hear my voice. Talking about the Lord. You understand what we're saying. you can see that it's the end, but then you're still being lukewarm, you're going to be destroyed in that unfaithfulness, right? But the ones that repent and do as you're commanded, as it is written, right? That is the ones that will be saved, because they're showing love, they're showing obedience, just like the men, right? We heard this word and we repented and we cleaved unto Yahweh through Yahweh Shai. Well, the women that are going to be saved, they're going to do the same thing by cleaving to the hopeful elect men, all right? And if they have husbands, they're not going to leave their husbands, but they're going to pretty much join to the way of Jacob, right? But the women that have no husband, if it's ordained that they be saved this way, they're going to be saved by cleaving to the Israelite man that is a prophet for salvation. It says in Isaiah 4:1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, what will we eat? We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. And why I messed up on this was I was thinking about Isaiah 3. And this whole chapter right here is pretty much the judgment on the woman. All right? Where the Lord is pretty much going to punish the women, right? To the point where he's going to leave her, this morning all fucked up, right? Which this is dealing with the women, as you can see. It says in Isaiah 3:18, in that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls, and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of their legs, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings and the rings and the nose jewels and the changeable suits of apparel, which a lot of these women, they got their own place with a closet full of expensive clothing, and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle a rent, and instead of a well-set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty, which a lot of these things are already happening. Look at their beauty products, it destroys them. It says, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war, which I just read, right? And it says, and her gates, her leadership, shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Which really, this is talking about the Israelites as a whole, but eventually it's going to be these women. That's why you're going to get Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women, which have the understanding of what's happening, shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And that's why this happened here to this woman. This woman had reproach. She had shame on her. And the Lord made her even a greater example of shame. This is a shame for women to be raped like this. All right? She's going to feel shame. Her whole family's going to be ashamed. All right? And who knows? She might have a disease. She might get pregnant from this. Right? And never even know what happens to this dude. This dude probably, like I say, he might have just came across the border and not even have no DNA information or nothing for them to chase. So this dude might just walk off into the night and they not even ever really capture him. Which they try to say it's justice. But really, if a woman's walking out in the street and she's not married, which we don't know her situation, but pretty much this is why in the movie Conan Destroyer, the princess had a bodyguard. Because men, all right, they would rape women that were unmarried, right? Which we have a law that guides us in those days. If there was one of these things to happen in our time, the Lord gave us the information of what we need. All right, it's right here. It says, so if a woman, right here, Deuteronomy 22. And right here it says, in verse 22, Deuteronomy 22 and 22, it says, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shalt thou put away evil from Israel. So if a woman's married and a man lays with her, a different man than her husband, her and the man are to be put to death. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed, meaning she's engaged to marry a man later in a different date, unto an husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, pretty much rape her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of the city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you. So if this dude, raped that woman and she's married, he needs to be put to death. And that's going to take place. The Lord's going to judge him for it. All right? It says, but if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, so is this matter, because she fought back. It says, for he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. Right? It says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, meaning unmarried, which is not betrothed, which is not engaged, and lay hold on her, which a lot of these women, they're lesbians, right? They're into chicks, so they ain't got no husband anyway. It says, as the Lord said, they had many husbands in reality. It says, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, which is like $300. It says, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt, which is a law that we have in the nation of Israel, which will be established on earth when Yahushua comes back. Right now, the wicked are ruling, and this shows you. This shows you the wicked are ruling because there's no righteous judgment. One, this woman shouldn't have been out in the dark without her husband, right? And this man, if he took that woman's virginity, he should have to pay the father off. But most likely, once again, this is a wicked ass society. She's a harlot, and he's just, running around getting his jollies off. He don't have no consequences. In fact, he's probably funded to be here, or he might be even a cracker. Who knows? His face is covered, but he could be a Jake. He could be who knows what. You know what I'm saying? And this is what it shows, that this is a wicked ass society, because there is no justice or no peace for the wicked, saith my power. And so the people are as the leadership is. And so the people are mourning because there is no righteous leadership in this world, but the elect of Israel, which are sighing and crying and prophesying, hungering and thirsting for a kingdom that is righteous. But currently, what we live in is a wicked ass society, because the wicked, the so called Caucasian, are living and ruling. All right. And this happens to a lot of women. All right. This happens to a lot of women. A lot of women get raped. And those are those secrets that they talk about, those traumas. But a lot of times they set themselves up to get raped, you know? They don't think. They think they're tough. They think they don't need a man, and they get fucked up, man. But for you women that have an ear to hear, hey, repent and listen to your husband, you know? Don't listen to my videos. If you're married, you should be listening to your husband. All right? But you women that are without a husband and you don't think you need a husband, and you're going to see on that day, you're going to wish that you had a man. The weakest man that you said no to, that you're going to wish that man was around to help you. But there ain't going to be nobody, just like this woman. There was nobody in the Bronx, a heavily populated area, and nobody was there to help her, because this was judgment. This was a judgment that was sent by the Lord, and he uses angels and he uses men through those angels to get his judgment done. All praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Ha Rakakodash, double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba.